when we have heartbreak, we're expected to go on like everything is normal, and like the people that really know and listen to their bodies and take a week off, which is not enough at all after a big heartbreak or a divorce. You need to take a lot of time off to heal. And that is not accepted in our life yet, even though every single person goes through it, not once, not twice, but many times. And still, there's no Band-Aid. When you have a burn, you put burn cream on it. And okay, when you have a heartbreak, what do we do?
Yo, you made it. My name is Omar Shaker, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Gumcast, where we have deep conversations about the human spirit and what keeps us going despite the shittiness of it all. Our goal is to encourage you to feel seen, heard, and understood. So tune in for real and raw conversations and become part of them on findgumption.com. Welcome back to the Gumcast. If this is your first time joining us, then you definitely chose the right episode. When was the last time that you experienced heartbreak? Do you remember how you felt? How did you cope? What would you tell yourself back then, knowing what you know now? This episode is my best attempt at answering these questions, and my guest today is Sherin Wafaai, who is a psychologist, a user experience researcher, and also my ex-wife. We recorded this on the last day that we had together in Oakland, before our eventual divorce. As you can imagine, we've both deliberated about whether this episode is one to be shared or not. And so I want to make a few things clear before we jump into the interview. First, when we recorded this episode, we hadn't completed our divorce yet, and that was a whole onion on its own. Secondly, we recorded this 6 weeks after we decided to separate, so we do sound more mature and loving than how we normally were before then, because we had come to a natural conclusion. Thirdly, remember that because this is a podcast, even though we are being real, we are being vulnerable, but we also have you in mind. And so don't think that this is only how we were in breakups due to any kind of working on ourselves or formula or secret. The whole point of this episode is actually to normalize how much heartbreak affects us and to hopefully inspire you to take some of the right actions to help yourself heal in new ways other than just muscling through it. It's tough to keep going when our hearts are breaking, and that is our main message. All that being said, if you stick to the end, we will reward you with a poem from my collection, An Ode to Heartbreak, which you can find on findgumption.com. And that poem is inspired, read, and named by Sherin after her idea for a Heartbreak Hotel. We also cover her vision for what kind of space that we can heal heartbreak in the episode. At the end, we hope that this poem leaves you with a giddy feeling after you go through all our shit with us. So without further ado, here is Sherin Wafaai, and this is the Heartbreak episode. Hello, Sherin.
Hi, Omar.
I love you.
Love you so much.
It's good to have you back here. Our first episode in season 1 was a hit. A lot of people sent me messages telling me how powerful they found that episode, particularly. And I definitely enjoyed recording it. So it's really good to have you back. Thanks for blessing us with season 2. Last time we spoke about experiencing God, and you have been doing a lot of that. So I'm excited to continue telling your story and uncovering what that means. So welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back in one of your amazing studios that you create all over the world.
Yes, this is a very new one. We just turn this storage area into a studio. Thanks for the gifts that you brought, the tea, the kombucha, the flowers, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, it's a candle.
Just for everyone that understands that Mother Mary is not sitting with us in the studio. However, she is.
If you saw the candle, you'd understand. And on the other side, we have a turquoise Buddha. Really beautiful.
Just all the representations of unconditional love are with us in this room right now.
But first, we always start with a story. And today's story is going to be really weird as hell for us to unpack together because we're going through it together. We're going to try to put our assigned roles on the side and just look ourselves in the mirror and see what we can unpack and what we can share.
I will tell you this story. But to everyone listening, know that if I had heard this story just 3 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I would think I was pretty weird too. So I forgive you for all the thoughts that are going to creep into your mind as you hear the words coming out of my mouth. So I returned from this incredible gathering called Aniwa, which is a gathering of elders that has been happening for a few years in California, where this group of really incredible people bring shamans and indigenous people from all over to come and teach us their ways and to come and teach us how to connect with nature. And connecting with nature and connecting with a higher consciousness has been extremely important to me, because realizing that we're all one and that we are not separate and everything is connected means that literally every single thing I do on this earth has an impact. Doesn't matter how small you are, doesn't matter how insignificant you feel. Everything you do, every word you speak has an impact. When I was there, I was feeling very bad. I don't know how to explain it, but my whole body was in pain and my heart was aching. And I kept getting these messages of that our relationship was over. And I didn't want to believe it. And so I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't enjoy myself. I couldn't connect with anyone else there. I thought, I'm not connected to myself, so I can't connect to anyone else. So I went to my tent and I opened my very special journal where I journal my dreams and notes and also where I channel things. Everyone can actually channel, can be a channel for information from the non-ordinary world or the other realm where the spirits live. There's this thing you can do called automatic writing where you set an intention, you write a question at the top of the page, and you put 5 minutes on the clock, on the timer, or just let it free flow, and you put your pen on the paper and you just let it go. And you try as much as possible to not have your mind affect what you're saying or what you're writing. So I wrote at the top of the page, in incredible desperation, "Please God, are you there?" I didn't know if I was going to get an answer, but I continued, I said, "Please God, my heart hurts so much right now. Are you there?" So I got an answer. Sometimes you ask and you get an answer and you realize you didn't want the answer. So be careful when you play this game, because your life might change. And mine did, and ours did as a result of that moment. And I wrote down, or the answer was, "We are here. We are all here with you," because God is not like a single entity, right? God is everything. We are all here with you. We're always here with you. And then they said, you asked us to use you, right? Because that's a prayer that I say almost every day. Please, God, use me. How can I be of service? And he said, you asked us to use you, so now we're going to use you. You've been in preparation for a long time, and now it's time for you to go to India and meet Amma. And Amma is this spiritual person, woman, incredible light in this world. And she's helped millions of people, and she does so much charity work in India, but she's also very known for hugging people. She can hug up to 5,000 people a day at some of her darshans. And then the next message was, and you need to go and you need to separate from Omar, from your husband, from the host of the show. And you need to separate because you're blocking him from finding the person he's supposed to be with or the person that will heal him. And then there was more, but I think that's enough of a note to change your life. And that was one note after several signs and before other signs that have showed me that is something that I'm supposed to do. I could go on forever, but that is the story, and that got us to this point right now because, of course, I came home after that event and I shared that note with you on the floor of our living room. And I was in a panic because for me, I didn't want that. That wasn't something that I was planning to do or leave or go to India. None of that was anywhere in my trajectory for forever. That was not part of the plan. But apparently it was part of the cosmic plan. And now I'm leaving tomorrow. So that was a month and a half ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious as to how did you receive that in that moment, me reading that note to you?
First, there was the resentment, and I felt, how dare you let me go? How dare you let go of all the dreams? There was a certain sense of entitlement that I feel I've put in a lot of myself into the relationship. So there was a lot of anger and resentment, and that part of me almost suddenly flooded my brain with all the things that aren't right in the relationship, all the things that I haven't been able to express. It feels like some Band-Aid was ripped off, and there was a lot of truth that flooded between us since then. And what I realized is that a lot of my needs were not met, and I was like suppressing a lot of that. And I was projecting a lot of that pain onto what you were telling me. Since the 6 weeks have passed, I've been uncovering a lot of what lies beneath this. And I think with heartbreak, we go through a lot of pain and suffering, especially in breakups. And certainly all my previous breakups have been mildly traumatizing, to say the least. And for some reason, this resentment towards you as the reason for my pain subsided really quickly when I started realizing that the pain I'm feeling is really mine, and it's old, and it's the part of me that was looking at all these negative aspects of our relationship is really trying to protect me from being blinded. And it's been wanting to ask for its own needs. It was really protecting a younger part of me that is very afraid of being rejected or abandoned. And so immediately the pain was so hard, and it's really easy to say that you leaving is the reason, but I realized that I'm the one carrying the pain, and you're actually really kind and loving. So you're not inflicting pain as much as you're triggering something that already exists. A lot of that, I think, is thanks to consciously doing that work the past few years. The result is, even though it's really upsetting. This time of separation, or the time leading to the separation that will start tomorrow, was very kind and loving, and I think that's phenomenal, because most breakups quintessentially bring anger and aggression, whether verbal or even physical. And we've just been having a blast together. And despite the sadness, we're able to hold each other with a lot of respect. So how do you explain that?
For anyone to be aware that they have so much and that things are triggering is just huge. And I feel like that's a huge aha or insight or lesson for anyone to stop blaming. So thank you so much for that. Definitely one of the reasons it has been as beautiful as it has, and that doesn't mean that we haven't cried, and it doesn't mean we are in pain.
It's gut-wrenching.
Exactly. We're in a lot of pain, but we're not abusing each other because of that pain.
Mm-hmm.
We are self-soothing. We are regulating and breathing. And also it's because, first of all, we love each other so much, because none of this came from a lack of love. So there's a lot of love and there's a lot of respect for each other. And to me, I don't know, seeing everything as sacred, having reverence for a process, having reverence for pain and how it shows up and how it affects your body, and to be obsessed with observing the process instead of drowning in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like these weeks have been like. We were definitely in it and drowning sometimes. Definitely. I think we've had to run for our individual life jackets at times. However, it's been the most graceful pre-separation time. I've never had a breakup that was loving. It's quite magical, actually.
It's a relief to know that exists, because we have to go through relationships in life.
Yeah.
It gives me hope in life that quarrels, that disagreements can not result in violence.
I think both people need to agree to that. Both people need to have that within them. Because even if one person is like that, the other person is still snapping at them. It's a very hostile environment. And every time we would have a conversation, or when we knew that there was a lot of emotion, there was buildup, we would set an intention, we would sit down and we would talk with a lot of intention. And they'd be very aware of the words we were saying as well.
Half the time, or
obviously this was not a perfect process, but the fact that we can sit here and, do this together,
yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, my last breakup was a disaster.
same. What's funny is that even though it's called heartbreak, and we know that we die when our heart literally breaks, and we go to the hospital even if our leg or arm breaks, but when we experience heartbreak, we continue going to work and we're expected to function normally. It's just insane how this is the way we go about it, right? And it's not just insane, it's outright harmful. We're harming our bodies and we're not honoring this very natural thing that we all go through. You're on your own now. Show up on Monday and act normal.
Suck it up. Your arm breaks or your leg breaks and people send you balloons and cards and flowers, or they visit you at the hospital and they call you and they're not scared to call you. And it's this whole big thing. But when you have a heartbreak, you hide it. You don't tell people. No one sends you cards. No one sends you balloons.
Or worse, they give you advice.
Or they give you uncalled for and unsolicited advice about your relationship.
Downright dangerous advice.
because they're uncomfortable. So people, when you're going through a heartbreak,
They want to fix you.
They want to fix you, or they feel too uncomfortable and they won't even call you, and they'll just totally unfriend you because it's too intense for them to deal with, which is fine. It's better than the unsolicited advice, honestly. But the fact is, what you said is super important. When we have heartbreak, we're expected to go on like everything is normal, and the people that really know and listen to their bodies and take a week off, which is not enough at all after a big heartbreak or a divorce or something. You need to take a lot of time off to heal. And that is not accepted in our life yet, even though every single person goes through it, not once, not twice, but many times, and still there's no Band-Aid. When you have a burn, you put burn cream on it. And okay, when you have a heartbreak, what do we do?
You think there's going to be a day where we acknowledge that in society? Could you imagine a world where we prioritize people over productivity?
100%.
How are we going to get there?
In the Netherlands, if you're burnt out, you get paid time off and your insurance will cover it. For now, you can just say you're burnt out if you have heartbreak in the Netherlands, at least. However, if there's scientific evidence to show that it's causing your immune system to be suppressed, we can definitely start building an argument that people need to take time off when they're going through a major heartbreak. But of course, you can be 13 and have a boyfriend, and you might think, oh, that's so silly. It's not a real relationship. But to them, to a 13-year-old, that is everything in the world. Do you remember being like 15 and having a girlfriend and the breakup? You feel like your world was ending and you could never go to school again? Maybe having a couple days off school would be the most amazing thing in the world. How kind would that be? How supported would we grow up feeling if there was just that freaking understanding that our emotions are so powerful? It's again like the elephant and the rider. And we're just living life, and then the elephant are your emotions, and the rider is on top of the elephant trying to think their way out of things, but actually the elephant is the one moving and the star of the show. So one day, hopefully, we will start caring for that beautiful elephant and seeing what the elephant needs before the rider.
So I was listening to Tara Brock the other day, and she was talking about the amount of pain and suffering in the world, right? Especially with a war going on, a pandemic still going on, even though we're recording this end of July 2022. In addition to all the other problems that already exist and how we go through this process of resentment and othering in a mass scale, right? So the reason why breakups are so hard, I think, is because it's our collective way of dealing with problems in general. So I disagree with this person, therefore they are wrong or they are the devil, and I am the one who is doing the right thing. And her RAIN process was really helpful throughout that, right? Recognizing that I'm feeling this and then allowing it to come through me. And for me, it was really weird because the sadness is something that I feel like I have to avoid. And anger is something that I feel like is out of integrity or I have to apologize. And I've been able to experience a lot of these emotions and not direct them towards you, even though I'm sure I did in many moments. But ultimately, she was saying that beneath our fuck the world attitude of why is it so complicated, why are things so bad, there's always an unmet need that we can hold ourselves with, and then suddenly it's not like we're complacent, but we accept it, and therefore we can stop complaining and doing something about it almost. Once it passes through us, we're free from it. That brings us to, in a relationship and in a heartbreak, one of the big dreams that you have is a hotel. Can we speak about the hotel?
You can talk about the Heartbreak Hotel. Yeah.
The Heartbreak Hotel.
It's perfect timing.
Yes, I love the idea because I feel it's something that we all go through. So the Heartbreak Hotel is a vision that you have, right? It's specifically a place, if I understand correctly, that will help people deal with heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
This moment, this very tender moment.
Yeah. It's anyone that's grieving, essentially. So a broken heart can come from a heartbreak. It could come from death of a loved one. It could also come from death of part of yourself, or maybe losing something that you really loved. So you're grieving a part of yourself or someone else. This actually came from my divorce, and I was in such a bad shape. I don't think I've ever felt pain like that. And I was in the Netherlands and I was alone. I had roommates, but I didn't even know them because I just moved in because I got kicked out of my house because I was not a great partner at the end of that marriage. I just felt so lonely and so sad and was in so much pain. And I just remember thinking, God, we're not supposed to go through this alone. How is this okay? There are billions of people and I'm on the floor by myself in fetal position crying. How is this supposed to happen? Where is my community? Where are the people that are supposed to hold me? And 100% I learned a big lesson because I do believe that we need to understand how to self-soothe and regulate, but to a certain extent. Then you need community. And so the Heartbreak Hotel is basically a community that's plug and play, ready for you. If you're in a heartbreak and your family doesn't understand or your friends don't understand and you don't want to talk to them about what's going on or you're going to feel judged or whatever, you can come to the Heartbreak Hotel and you will be met with open arms, with...
So I walk in to this, it's a circular place, right?
No sharp edges.
No sharp edges, which is perfect when going through heartbreak. You want to baby-proof it. So I walk through the entrance. Is it made out of glass?
No, wood.
Wood. And the door, is it a big door with a brass knob or is it?
It's always open, so you probably...
There is no door.
The doors are always open
Huh.
during opening hours.
So I walk in, there's someone come and greet me?
The first thing you get is a hug.
Okay.
The first thing, either you get like a single hug or you get a group hug, but you come and you think, thank God I'm home.
Okay.
You come and you get to let go now. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You don't have to pretend anything. You'll just get some hugs. We'll take you to a room which has a bed that looks like a cloud. That's the puffiest, most inviting bed you've ever seen. You'll be hugged by the bed. You'll be hugged by our professional hugging staff, starting with me. And then...
Are you going to hug everyone?
I will hug everyone all the time.
Goes in.
Yeah, that's my talent.
Okay.
That is what I want to do with my life.
I think you'll need a business manager.
Maybe they need an agent, like a hugging agent.
A hugging agent. Yeah. Yeah. Can you train people to do that kind of stuff? Not just the hugging, but the holding space and the guiding of someone. Is it the place that you would have people help you, or is it something that you want to do individually? That's your gift to give.
No, again, it's a community thing. So you would want people to be part of it and create it. We will create it together, and there'll be people that will do body work, massages, somatic therapy, because as we said, we feel things in our body and that's where the blockages are and that's where the pain is. So we'll need people to literally massage the pain out of you, people doing energy work, people connecting with nature. That's the most important thing. So the place is going to have to be in the most incredible place. I'm thinking either Siwa or Sina, both places that are incredible, that have water and have the desert and have the stars and just have the purity of a landscape that is healing on its own.
But in this place, I'm getting a lot more of support from the community. I get the hug and I get a place to go. It's like a yurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the yurts are they're organized in a circle,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a fire pit.
There's a fire pit and there's a ceremony space.
A ceremony space, okay. So it sounds like a place where there's this mix between being on my own and in the space. So imagine I am going through a separation. So now I walk into Heartbreak Hotel. I get a big hug from the host. I'm going to get one of your amazing hugs. Is the first step to just leave me alone and see how I react, or do you get me into the program so that I can start healing immediately?
I think that's going to be based on the person, because everyone's going to be coming in with something else. So it's definitely going to be first get comfortable, put your comfiest clothes on,
Okay.
relax, maybe take a shower,
Sounds good.
a beautiful shower, and then you can come and we'll have tea and we'll talk. I'll give you something to eat, ground you.
How long do I need to take off my work to stay in Heartbreak Hotel?
It depends. If someone just died, for example, it depends on what's going on in your life, right? If you're grieving a piece of yourself, maybe it's not as intense as someone dying, right? It's a little bit different. But I would say there are people that could stay, I would say minimum a week. I think everyone would minimum need a week to be able to decompress. But I also looked, as I brainstormed this whole idea, I would say people will probably stay up to a month.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been looking into also how heartbreak affects our bodies, right? Like you said, was it susceptibility to infections?
It actually really affects your immunity.
Immunity, yeah.
And also people can get heart attacks. People can go through actual heart problems due to heartbreak, because everything is so connected. So how can you go through this major emotional thing and it not affect your body? So you actually need to be very careful and take care of your body. There's an incredible woman that wrote a whole book about how heartbreak affects your body, because she was in a marriage and I'll remember the name and we can put it in the notes, but she was married for 20 years and her husband left her, and she for 4 years was sick, and she didn't realize what it was until she understood that it was all coming from that stress of the heartbreak. And yeah, of course, it feels true, but also how can we prevent our bodies giving out because of something like that? And the one thing she said, actually, people that get over heartbreaks the fastest and the quickest are people that experience a lot of awe in life. People that walk around and look at the sky and go, oh, how amazing. Like reverence. Really looking at life as a sacred experience is much better for your health and will help you get through things.
And it's interesting, just vocalizing that adds a little bit of awe and interest, right? I wonder what this thing is. A little bit of curiosity, a little bit of mystery, rather than looking at things with square edges, sharp edges.
As soon as you said that, I thought of the word victim. Victim has sharp edges, right? The word even has victim.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good when you say it. It's a low vibration word, feeling, state. And you feel like things are happening to me. Oh my God, what's happening to my life? Oh, I have no responsibility. I have no agency over my life. I think that's when you probably will deteriorate the fastest. And that's not scientific, definitely. But my feeling is that when you feel like you have no authority or no agency over your life, then yeah, I can imagine that will.
Yeah, and that's definitely part of the process that I went through, going from, oh shit, why is this happening? Why is my partner who I love leaving? Why am I being abandoned? To the fact that this is happening for me, that this is allowing me to restructure my life in a much more meaningful way. Thank you so much for everything that you put out in the world and for standing up against the status quo in every single way, and for speaking up on behalf of the world's elephants and those most in need of love and compassion, and for your really big heart that I've had the privilege of experiencing and being with every day. Thanks for everything you put out into the world and for all the things that you shared with us today, so vulnerably and beautifully. And thanks for relieving me of My duty as husband. Oh, it's amazing. It's one archetype that is not particularly fun.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for being the coolest friend, partner, host to have the grace to record this episode with me. Thank you for your incredibly huge heart just to be able to share this journey with everyone so that they can get something out of it, whatever it is. Thank you for sharing that gift with me and everyone else.
I do have one last request.
Uh-oh. Heartbreak Hotel. Oh, that circular place. You're invited if you and your tail are in a chase. If life has separated husband from wife, or a friend from another, or a sister from a brother, then rejoice in your sadness, for we understand how separation bites at our wholeness. It makes us forget how bright we can get on our fucking own. So here is the pain, not just to be vain, but it is here, and it's now, and it's real, and it's how you will learn. Learning is growing, but it'll take some rowing to get yourself there. So welcome, this way, sir, from here, ma'am. Welcome to the circus, where hearts come together to grieve one another. Our fears and our pains shall soon be healed. Together we sow new intentions for tomorrow. Together we witness each other's anger and sorrow. In a circle we feel safe. Alone we become whole. No relationship ever cured a lonely soul. So come on in and have a seat. Choose your favorite soft Persian cushion. Take your shoes off and turn your breath on. Forgive, wax off, find grace, wax on. And now we begin by cooking whole food, simple enough for your gut and complex enough for your heart and brain. Food that will nourish you as you go through the darkest night of your fucking soul. Your moment is here, and we know it sucks, but we'll cook what you need, and to help you proceed and move on to the next chapter of your novel to be. And one day again, you shall run this time bright as the sun. But for now, here is a beautiful and circular space where the bullshit is exhaled and the good shit is inhaled. You're in room 6 between the oak tree and the pool. Our chefs and helpers all work in shifts that are steady. The eating and healing happens when you are ready. You'll meet all 8 guests and take a break from your hell, and every night we'll have a show and tell. So welcome to Heartbreak Hotel. May we all become whole again.
Hey, this is Omar again. I'd like to give a shout out to Mustafa Al-Azabi, and we would love to know how this episode made you feel. Please share your stories with me at findgumption.com and stay tuned for the next episode, where I have a heart-mending session with somatics practitioner Stacey Haynes, author of The Politics of Trauma. And she helps me, in real time, navigate this heartbreak and shares insights with you about how to release trauma from the body. I'll see you next time.